Like, look at this. This is crazy. Going down a mudslide with a bunch of fairy lights over my head while TIE fighters fly by and the music plays in the background. Not that you can hear the original music. It's probably just me making weird mouth noises. But you know, that's kind of fun too. And that, Your Honor, is exactly why this copyright suit is a sham. I know Disney goes rabid anytime anyone mentions using their intellectual property, but I had a very in-depth conversation with Mickey Mouse before making that video.
So you think that you can get away with using what's mine without my permission?
No, Mickey, please. I wasn't going to.
Yeah, you're damn right you weren't going to. No one uses what's Mickey's unless Mickey Mouse lets them.
You're right, Mickey. You're totally right. I'm not planning on doing anything that might upset you, that might cause you any issues. Everything's gonna go over just fine.
You know, I want to trust you. Unfortunately, this mouse has been burned a few too many times, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use my Mouska tool to make sure you know exactly what happens if you make me upset.
Mickey, is that a lead pipe?
Miska!
Mickey, you don't have to do this. Mickey! Do 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 bum do bum 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 do 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 bum 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 do 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 bum 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 do 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 bum 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 do bum 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 do 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 bum do 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 bum 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 do 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 Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is at its core Sekiro if you were a Jedi. I got this game because being a Jedi is cool, and I also really like the idea of making mouth sounds over all of the clips. Oh wow, that's some very heavily copyrighted music. And it's got it all, swinging around a lightsaber, using the Force, kidnapping small children and forcing them to become part of my pseudo-religious cult. Everything. Suckers. Oh, that's so cool. I'm a Jedi. The kidnapping children thing is not a joke, by the way. The plot of the game is that there's a list of Force-sensitive children you have to find to rebuild the Jedi Order.
This vault, a Jedi holocron, containing a list of the names and locations of young Force sensitives throughout the galaxy.
I want to be in the room when the story writer walked in, looked the director straight in the eye and said, "Oh yeah, this old dude made a list of children based on desirable traits, and we need to find that list to find the children." Jim, we fired you 3 weeks ago.
Cordova hid something inside of it.
What did he hide inside?
A holocron from the archives. It contains a list of Force-sensitive children.
The list of children is not a good look, okay? I wouldn't tell a soul if I had a list of children, Force sensitive or otherwise. Let's take a look at the combat for a moment. The combat is a lot like Sekiro. I haven't played Sekiro yet, but it looks a lot like Sekiro. You've got the enemy health bar, which you can't hit until you've depleted the poise meter, then you get to hit them once or twice, and then the poise bar comes back. Sometimes you get to style on them a little bit too. Oh man, that's nice. That's so much fun. Why do I have like 0 health? Ooh, I know why he is 0 health. One of the games that I have the most nostalgia for is LEGO Star Wars. It's a bittersweet feeling because of some technical issues that I had with the game, but Jedi Fallen Order brings back a lot of great memories. Dude, I remember in LEGO Star Wars, I got 98% completion in it, right? I was so close to finishing that damn game. I only needed to do like the challenge trials, right? And then the thing is, in the game, the save button and the delete all your progress button are like right next to each other. So I would like constantly save all the time to make sure that I wasn't losing my progress because I was so close to beating it and I didn't want to like lose even a single percent. And then I accidentally clicked the delete progress button and there's no pop-up that's like, are you sure you want to do this? You won't be able to get it back or whatever. It just instantly deletes all of your progress and it was gone. One of my favorite parts of LEGO Star Wars was deflecting blaster bolts back at people. Jedi Fallen Order has the exact same mechanic and it is just as satisfying as I remember it being. Just this big fat Uno reverse card. You know, I'm actually racist towards R2-D2s. The cool animations and the blaster bolt reflections aside, I was actually kind of disappointed by the combat. It's cool, but when I think of fights in Star Wars, I think of Sidious flying halfway across the room and doing a 720 or other things. In this game, a lot of the combat is kind of just waiting for the enemy to swing so that you can parry. Oh no, I'm gonna embarrass you in front of all of your friends. It actually reminds me a bit of Dark Souls 1, because even just 2 enemies near each other can be a problem if they manage to time their attacks properly. Lightsabers feel like they should be a one-shot kill or something, but I feel more like the tickle monster than a Jedi. I'll go into more detail later. For now, all I can really say is that the combat isn't really what I wanted it to be. And I know, Judge, that you're giving me a look to tell me to move on, but it is incredibly important that the jury learns about this game in depth in order to make an informed decision. I've watched every single episode of Suits to prepare for this case, so just trust me.
Where's my cockpit chair? Oh, why do I get the front seat and she has to sit in the back? Ooh, poor choice. Poor choice, game developers.
Now, as I continue to talk about this game, you're going to notice I'm not exactly giving it a glowing review. It's okay, but it's not that good. It takes a model that plenty of games have done phenomenally well, applies it to one of the biggest and most popular franchises to have ever existed, and then I don't know. It's like a puppy with 3 legs. It's cute. It's trying its best, and you can still fall in love with it, but it's not going to be a show dog. One of the things that this game does really, really well is the level design. This game is beautiful. You go from wide, grassy fields with monoliths towering in the background to lush forests with ancient trees that make skyscrapers look small, wandering through ruins filled with intricate carvings and 9-foot-tall men that want to stomp on you.
He's gonna step on me.
The developers made a game that is really quite nice to run around in and explore, which is great because you're going to be doing that a lot.
I have no idea.
The basic structure of gameplay for this game goes as follows. Fly to a planet, figure out how to get to that building over there, fight a bunch of enemies while getting to that building over there, and solve a few puzzles. Get over there, watch a cutscene, now walk your ass all the way back from where you came from.
What? Where am I supposed to go now?
It's a pretty common go from A to B to A again setup that quite a few games have. The issue with this game is there's no indicator as to where you need to go on screen. There's no little arrow, no hints. The only thing that you have is a map you build by discovering new areas yourself, which is holographic and 3-dimensional. I can't even read a regular map. Rain,
Well,
rain,
could
rain.
just
It's
die.
raining. It's raining over the copyrighted music. Rain, rain, rain.
But I feel like
rain,
dying's
rain,
probably not the way I'm
rain,
supposed to
rain.
go.
What really annoys me about this is there's such an easy way to tie in a basic directional indicator into the storyline. He has the Force. Just Deus Ex Machina this bitch some Force direction ability or something, but no. I had to read a map. And you know what's crazy? I learned how to read a map. I've learned how to read a map.
Bullshit.
Right? There's no way, but I totally did. Yes. This may seem like a pretty basic achievement for most of you. Most people are generally capable of reading a map without too many issues, but I am not one of those people. There are children in elementary school that have better directional skills than I do. It's not something that I'm proud of. It's just a factual statement. But no longer. I can read a map now. All you bitches better watch out, because I'm coming up in life. I'd like to apologize to the jury for calling them bitches. That was not my intention.
That's crazy. I don't know how to read a map. Am I actually learning from a video game?
I think one of the biggest issues I had with this game is just how slow it is. This is pretty prevalent in the combat, but it's noticeable in other places as well. A great example of this is the sheer amount of time you have to sit watching cutscenes.
Damn, put some seasoning on that.
Cal and
Damn, he's
I
still
resisted.
going.
I swore to myself,
He's still going.
and I gave them Trilla. I
He's
can do
still
to make that
going.
right.
How much of this do you need, my guy?
There are over 4 hours of cutscenes in this game. That's longer than a feature-length film. That's longer than the longest Star Wars movie, and you cannot skip the cutscenes.
This game's slow enough. I'm actually just gonna suck on a lollipop while I'm waiting for the cutscenes to finish.
Train
sounds,
good luck.
copyrighted
What is
music.
this? It's all train sounds, only train. During the cutscenes, you get to learn about a lot of the characters in the game. You get to see a bunch of Wookiees, too. You know, Wookiees seem like they'd be super fun to smoke with. Not that I smoke marijuana or anything, because that is federally illegal, and I am a law-abiding citizen. Whoa! Whoa! You also get to meet Grease. Don't ever get that close to me. Ever again.
We talk. I don't know what's going on.
Now, for the first half of the game, I was less than pleased to be around Grease because he looks like a frog gray beard inspired by an 18th century noble, swallowed Peter Dinklage's head, and sat on his shoulders. Look at him just standing there. Why does he look like that? Now, to my surprise, that changed. Throughout the interactions I had with this character, he grew on me a lot, and after a surprisingly heartfelt cutscene where he tells us he was worried about us and didn't want us to die, he actually became my favorite character. That's on record, right? I want my ex to know that I don't just care about looks. I really hope you don't die. I would do so many horribly unspeakable things to make sure that you stay safe. Stay in the ship, Grease. Please. Another thing that I enjoyed about this game were some of the voice lines. Not because they were award-worthy or anything like that, but just because they were fun. There was banter between characters, callbacks to famous lines from the movies. It made the game more personable and just easier to enjoy.
Oh, this is it. At least we have the high ground.
He has his own way of doing things, yes. But these are dire times.
There what now? There was one thing that bothered me the entire time that I played, and it was this bastard's face. I've seen that face before. I know I have, but I could not place it for the longest time. It turns out they face scanned some actors for this game. I swear this person's real. Like in real life. There's so much
They scanned his face.
I was right!
Yeah, he's real.
So copyrighted.
You know the what's
Is he a ginger in real life too?
I knew it.
what's that one show?
I'm not even gonna try and
Gallagher
pretend
people.
splash. Oh yeah! Shameless, that's where he's from. Why did they do that? I don't know. It was really weird seeing Forrest Whitaker in Star Wars, but such is the world we live in. Whose face did they scan to get him? Souls games at their core, in my opinion, focus primarily around their boss fights. A Souls game with bad boss fights is a shitty Souls game. There's no way around it. Jedi Fallen Order doesn't really have a lot of bosses. Well, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I don't know how you're saying I'm predictable. I don't even know where I'm going. How do you know where I'm going? In fact, now that I think about it, in the first half of the game, there were only 4 bosses you need to fight, and 2 of those are against the same person. Beat her ass in round 1 as you came back for seconds. Copyright. What is wrong with me? Copyright. What is wrong? Why is she kind of hot? And most of the bosses are kind of dumb. This is a very aggressive frog, I think. I mean, Star Wars is a massive universe with incredible characters littered throughout. Pretty much anybody holding a lightsaber is going to be a cool boss. It's hard to mess that up. So why are most of the bosses like a really fat frog and a person I'm pretty sure I've seen at the pub? What are your arms made of, my guy? The cool boss fights are, of course, the ones against the Inquisitors, the Second Sister, and the Ninth Sister. The problem is, you don't get to kill them. Alright, stage 2. Stage 2. Stage 2. I mean, maybe you do later, but the first time you fight the Ninth Sister, you cut off her hand and she runs away. The first 2 times you fight the Second Sister, you get her down to half health, and then the fight just ends. And everyone acts like you just barely got out alive against the Second Sister, but to be perfectly candid, the can of whoop-ass I opened on this knockoff Darth Vader was astronomical in proportion.
Thanks for the help back there, BD. You saved my life.
No, you saved her life. We would have won. Quitter. You're a quitter. That's what you are. One of the most important parts of a Souls game, the part that makes them really fun, is the euphoria you feel after beating a difficult boss that you've died to many times. When the boss fight stops at half health, that completely removes the joy and happiness and excitement and adrenaline you feel when you beat the boss. X. Oh, nice, we got her. She seems to be missing a hand. That's what you get for beating up my bird friend. So, to recap, in the first half of the game, you have boss fights that are super cool that you don't get to finish, or you fight Ogdo Bogdo. What a freeze frame. Some of the other wonderful bosses you get to fight are the Rabid Jotaz, Albino Wishak, Pango Two Teeth and Flatak, Clunk, and I'm not kidding, Chonk.
And this is my captain, Grease Dritus.
Christritis.
Yeah, the Mantis is my ship.
My
but
second
you better
favorite
pay
character
attention
after
to this
Jung
lady.
Bingle Pop. While the bosses were largely disappointing and not terribly hard to deal with, the difficulty of the game is largely supplemented by Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest over here alongside pretty much every other minor enemy. This goat's gonna take over half my health 100%. Yep. I mentioned earlier that when I imagine a Jedi in a fight, I think of a monkey doing parkour. Just an extremely agile person doing flips and somersaults everywhere and spinning their lightsaber like a blue-haired J-pop idol with a leak. What does not immediately come to mind is standing still and waiting for your enemy to attack you at least twice before you can break their guard to attack them. Hey there, how's your day going? Might as well get to know each other because we're going to be seeing each other for the next 20 minutes. This is quite possibly the slowest option that the developers could have chosen for the combat system. It's a good combat system. No, it's not a terrible combat system, and there are games that have done a wonderful job using that system. This is not one of them. That's insane. I'm trying to dodge and it's not working. And it's largely because he's a Jedi. He's supposed to move fast. Instead, he just sits there, waiting for them to swing first with his stupid ginger hair instead of, I don't know, using the Force or his sword made of actual molten hot light that we know can cut through steel. He hits me one time and it stuns me to get hit by the second attack. It was a bad decision. Alongside regular enemies, there are a few mini-boss type enemies that are super fun to deal with.
Die like the rest.
Probably. I was too in love with pushing strong enemies off of ledges with force push to really fight most of them, but they were pretty cool looking. Oh, weird, buddy.
Give me a fight.
Sucker.
Squad. Jedi.
Goodbye.
Fight me, Jedi.
No, I don't want to. The rest of the enemies fit into two categories. Super basic, easy fodder that you can deal with quickly, and the most obnoxious, annoying little rat you've ever seen. Keep in mind, their position in these categories can change at any time. Not a rat. Smack. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hi, you piece of shit. For example, these guys. Most of the time, rats and spiders are not a problem. But sometimes, for whatever reason, they seem to have better force sense than the character you're playing because they will backstep every single swing you make. It is a rat. It does not need to dodge, it just needs to stand there and die. This is the only game I've ever played where you need to use the expensive moves against the fodder. What ended up being the reason that I decided to stop playing were the enemies and their placement on Dathomir. Is this like... what is that? On Dathomir, you have enemies that look like an unmelanated version of Darth Maul. In order to kill them, you need to parry them 4 times, hit them once or twice, parry them 4 times again, and then kill them. They are almost always in groups of at least 2, and if you see a blind corner you have to take, you can bet your ass there's a guy standing there to jump you. Son of a man, they're just hiding. It was just incredibly tedious to get through, especially considering a good chunk of their moveset takes out like half of your health. And considering you only have 2 health packs that only heal half of your health each, exploring Dathomir was nearly as painful as a mouse with a lead pipe. Well, this is pretty... How am I going to make that sound? In fact, exploration in general in this game was kind of unpleasant, which sucks because the maps are beautiful, but when every single engagement you take has a good chance of taking some of your health, and you having so little health makes it kind of tedious and stressful to get through the levels. Sure could use a rest stop. Please? And when you finally get through the level and you reach the room that you need to be in, if there is a boss fight, odds are it's going to disappoint you more than the live-action remake of The Lion King. That's a Disney reference. Because Star Wars is owned by Disney. Whoa. Fuck's sake. Well, at least it's a boss fight, you know? So, I stopped. I wasn't really enjoying it, and I was looking forward to making bad acapella versions of Star Wars music, which is exactly why this entire hearing is a sham. It is clear that my usage of this video game and the music therein is transformative, and therefore not punishable under copyright law. And if that isn't enough for you, then I would like to remind everyone that jury nullification exists, and I would love it if you went down that route. The entire reason I made this video was so I could make mouth sounds over the clips. I thought it'd be fun. I hope it was funny, because if it wasn't, then now I just look really stupid. I hope you liked the video. First video 2025, by the way, so hopefully we're starting off strong. yeah, thanks for watching. Man, I need to figure out how to end these. This is ridiculous. So you know what? I'm gonna stare at you for a few seconds. Just look into where my eyes would normally be. Look into me. What?